How are you? Well, we're gonna do a little walk around of a Hitachi EX100-3. It's here on the farm, so we can use it, pull rocks, dig trenches, whatever it takes. We bought it used because that's really all we could afford, and I'll go through it with you quickly, show you, do a walk around, show you what I fixed on it already, and what may need some attention in the future. So well, it's got over 7,000 hours on it, but for the amount of use we're going to put into it, I think it's going to be a good machine. It's about 8 times more powerful than the machine we used to have, which was a little backhoe. And you know, we have tractors here on the farm, but they can't dig like something with a hoe on it. So let's see, I'll just give you a quick run through of what I have fixed already on it. Changed out the gear oil in the drive motors for the track. I don't think they had ever been changed, and so there's a lot of things on here that the maintenance wasn't that good. Let's see, I had a new swing motor put in it when I got it, but it had been always stored outside, and water had gotten into the reduction gear below that. And my theory is that either when I tested it or before that, we tested it in the winter, and I think that the water which sank to the bottom of the reduction gear, the oil that was in there, anyways, the water had gotten in there and had basically frozen to the seal at the bottom. And when we either went to test it or it happened before then, as soon as you swing the machine, it ripped that seal. So I had to take all of that out. I don't have all the right tools. I bought a $30 wrench, and I took all day, and I was able to get it out, and it was really testing. Managed to get it out, replace the seal, put it all back together, and it's been holding oil and performing perfectly. Before I'd put oil in it and nothing would happen. You'd be nothing on the dipstick. It all drained out down the bottom. So anyway, I'm not a mechanic, but I figured if I was able to do this, I would save thousands of dollars. So I tackled that project, and I have some video on my phone I'll try to put in here so that you can see. It was really dark, but we'll see what happens when I did that, when I post it, see if it comes out. It was leaking the hydraulic oil cooler was leaking, so I took that out, had that rebuilt. It needed 2 new batteries. The battery box was completely rotted out. I put in a electronic shut-off, so that's got 2 new batteries, and that's all set. Really haven't done anything in the cab. I did tighten up the tracks, and I'm not sure how often it was greased. And it's got a lot of hours on it, and it's a little sloppy, but I grease it like every 8 hours, and it's just powerful. More powerful than what we've had in the past. We do have the main cylinders are leaking, are weeping ever so slightly. And at some point I may deal with that. And the undercarriage, you know, it is what it is. We don't use it that much. I think it's going to be okay for what we're doing. Everything seems to be okay, and there you have it. I'm going to go pull one rock that I forgot to do in the field. I was in a hurry the other day when I pulled a bunch of rocks out of the field. I wish I had had time to film it, but I didn't. I started filling in the holes, found one more rock. We're going to go pull that rock, and then we're going to track the machine over to the big dirt pile and loosen up some soil so that the tractor can bucket it out into the field. So that's the plan. Stick with me. It might be a little shaky video. Anyways, here we go. One more out here that I missed. Let's see how big it is. Oh, it's just a little one. Just a little one. What I did for 2.5 hours the other day, and we pulled out a whole bunch of rocks out of the field. Seems like we do that every 10 years or so. And this was the one. I was over here filling these holes and going, oh, I missed one. So we'll take this over to the wall, and then we'll track around to the other side. So this is the pile of stuff that came out of the driveway and the house build, my parents' house build. So we're just going to go loosen up some of the stuff so it makes it easier for the tractor to scoop up and take out to the field. see my method is try to roll out the rocks down to the bottom of the hill and scoop them off the side. Which we just have fewer rocks to have to deal with. We don't have a screen, so just fewer rocks to deal with when we go dump this stuff in the field. And because the object is less rocks in the field. It's the whole object here. I mean, it's not completely efficient, but you know, it's not bad. You can see there's a lot of rocks that get removed, so it's all good. well for now. Back to the shed and park this. So I had to do that so I can fill the holes in the field.
Yeah, right.
Because
you're gonna pound the dirt in there so it's
just drive over it.
Oh yeah, that'll do it, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, we've had two customers. It's the last day today. Woo!
Yeah, I'm gonna go park this and get the hell out of it. It's shaking me to death.
Okay. All right.
See you, Maisie. And there we have it. We're back in the shed. I'll let it idle for a minute. And we'll turn it off. It's a pretty good machine. It leaks a little bit, like I say. But, I mean, I replaced all the filters on it. I had to learn how to do all this stuff. I've got a bunch of manuals with it, which are super helpful. But it's missing some things, like there's a cover plate over the swing motor that's just missing. This railing, which is missing, I'm going to try and replace those at some point. But I think I've solved all the leaks except for the 2 cylinders up here. And it just, it's amazing. An excavator, if you go from a backhoe to an excavator, you'll never go back. The stuff it can do is amazing. The only thing is just tracking it around is you got to plan it out so you don't drive around too much. All right. Oh, the other thing I did, I forgot to tell you, was the drive motors. Blew a hose in them. Can't really see inside there, but there's a cover plate, and I removed both cover plates. Found the leak. Wasn't a big hose, and it was pretty easy to replace, but those things were completely packed with sand. No one, I don't think, since it had been built, had ever been in them. So I cleaned them all out and put a new hose in and put it all back together. But you know, it must have been working in a sand pit or something at some point in its life, because they were just packed in there like concrete. Anyways, so I imagine that most machines, they don't get all the tender loving care that they could. But I'm going to try and finish all the last little bits. Maybe at someday get the hose repacked, the cylinders repacked. I'd like to get a different bucket for it. I don't know what a grading bucket, I guess that's what they call. And if we do keep it, I want to get a manual disconnect or whatever you want to call it I can change the buckets out. But there you have it. It's a pretty good machine and pretty well built. You know, I'm pretty impressed with the engineering in it. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go home and eat lunch. See you later.